Dylan, welcome and welcome back to the channel. It is Sandra here, and
Brittany. Hi.
Brittany is a Black American all the way from Chicago who has been living, thriving, and exploring, discovering, and evolving herself in Lagos, Nigeria. And she's going to be sharing her story and basically just taking us through her journey here. And I am so interested, rather so invested in this, and I really hope that you all would love to see this. So please do stick around from the very start to the very end, okay? So can you introduce yourself, like your name and where you're from?
All right, so my name is Brittany Griffin. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, USA. But I relocated from Chicago to Houston, Texas, most recently, like a year or two ago.
How long have you been in Nigeria? How long have you been living here?
I've been living here, it will be 2 months and like 4 days.
Wow, so basically, let's just say it's 2 months.
2 months.
What made you move to Nigeria? What were the reasons that you said, okay, I want to move out of Texas, right? And I want to move somewhere in Africa, and you chose Nigeria. What made you move here?
So I've been teaching for 10 years, and recently on TikTok, I saw there's like a kind of like an influx of travel abroad teachers. And so I was like, that sounds like something that I would be interested in. So I did like some research about how to get into it, and I qualified for all of the programs that I did research on. One of the biggest ones is Teach Away. And then when I discussed it with a colleague of mine, he basically was just saying oh, you want to teach abroad? Like my mom has a school actually in Lagos, Nigeria, or really a Gulf state.
Coincidentally.
Right, coincidentally. So we kind of pioneered the program based on the standards of Teach Away, how it would be for me. So I got to have a say in everything. And originally I would have went through Teach Away and gone to Africa first. But because he knew someone here already, it just kind of it came sense. Together. Yeah. And it was just kind of alignment. So, especially because I have a lot of Nigerian friends, and I'm already kind of familiar with Nigerian culture and stuff like that. So I think that had I not had him, I probably would have ended up in South Africa or another part of Africa. So it kind of worked out.
Yeah, it worked out, and we brought you here first. How different is your work life from the US and Nigeria? I mean, you've been teaching, so obviously you've experienced different sides, the educational system, and also the cultural and disciplinary system in both schools. So how different is it?
The work life, I think it's the same. As soon as I got there, I immediately noticed that the teachers are expected to do the same things. We had an orientation upon resumption, so I actually came at a great time because it was right after a spring break. So I got to sit and where the students weren't there yet, but it was the teachers would reconvene.
Yeah, so you basically started with them, you ended the term with them, yeah.
Like a refresher of the rules. So it was stay in the classroom with your students at all times. Please submit your lesson notes before the end of this week. And I'm we still have to do notes, lesson plans.
Yes.
That's still a thing.
I used to teach back then, 2017. That was one of the worst part of my job. I really didn't like the whole lesson note thing.
Oh girl.
Oh my god.
Oh girl. And proper attire. Make sure you look nice and clean and professional.
Covered.
And make sure you arrive to work on time. So it's the same. The work environment to me is just work. I feel if the expectations may be even more because I work at a Christian school. So they told me no ankle bracelets. I wear a lot of jewelry. They're wear one pair of earrings. I have 3 holes. Really? No nose ring. So I was wow, this is
new.
A Christian culture.
Yeah, it's a really Christian culture. I wonder how it would be. Because I want to ask how is the school system when it comes to the children, the students, and I want to try to compare it to my school, which was a non-Christian school, but then I don't know how a Christian school is. So basically you worked in a non-Christian school and now you're working in a Christian school. So what are the differences? How they do things differently.
Okay, so yeah, I worked in public schools, so I just thought that obviously public schools, not to say anything goes in public schools, but anything goes in public schools. There's obviously no uniform. Some public schools do wear uniform. But this school, the standards are so high
for
the students, for the teachers, like, you know, and so a lot of things really worried me. I was actually kind of went through this thing where I didn't feel good enough. Like, am I Christian enough? Like, I know I'm a Christian, but like, I don't carry around a Bible, and I don't really know Bible verses and songs and like hymns, and they are really into like fellowship and like. I think the kids even know more Bible verses than me. Like, so I kind of felt like, wow, it tested my faith. Like, I have a strong relationship with God, but I'm like, am I good enough to really be here in front of these kids as a teacher at a Christian school? But now I feel more comfortable. But initially it was intimidating because I was like, wow, like, I'm the rock star teacher with like tattoos, and like they found my TikTok and they're like, oh, we found your TikTok. It's different, but I feel like my Christian is different. And they challenged me. They asked me a lot of questions about the first day of work. I was in class and a girl came in with the, like, so she has like a ball fade, but she has no hair. And she had a cut in her hair, and the teacher lost it. She was just like, what is this? Go to the principal's office. And it was in that moment that I was like, oh, they really can't like express themselves. Like, it's very, very Christian. Like, and so that made me realize, not even like that, the standards were just a little bit different. Like, I have to really, you know, be a role model and really like, so that, and it also made me feel even more insecure about like having all these tattoos. This was like, I'm a rock star teacher. Like, you know. But yeah, so yeah, but it also has brought me a lot closer to God, though I will say that it's really nice. And I think that that's one of the reasons why I am the way I am, because I grew up Catholic, and then but I had the foundation. So we learned about like the 10 Commandments in school. We had a religion class as a part of our coursework, and then I went to public school after that. So I feel like it's good. It's really good for it's good for the students, and I'm like, you know, happy to be a part of their upbringing, but I do see the value in it being so strict, you know, especially in this new day and age where, like, I feel like the generation has no values and they lack morals, and that's why they're like killing each other and they don't see the value in life. So I'm down with whatever they want to do, whatever the rules are. You know, I get it.
I mean, it's work, right? And then if it gets to influence some part of your life positively, it's what were your expectations when you were moving here, right? Because I feel like obviously you would have some expectations, right? So like, what were your expectations and how have settling in been so far?
That was the biggest thing. So, like I said, my friend, my mentor, like, he told me, I think the thing he said the most to me was, manage your expectations. Everything I said I wanted to do, his whole thing was like, literally, word for word, manage your expectations. But manage your expectations. So, I didn't have any expectations.
Okay, but like, because I was told to manage before he informed you that you had to manage it. What did you?
No, like, I just know I just needed the basic necessities. Like, you know, I was worried about like where I was gonna stay and like how I was gonna get around and navigate and how I was gonna meet people and how I was gonna like still like maintain my same lifestyle in like in another place. Or how like, you know, work was gonna go and how like what I was gonna wear, how I was gonna find like clothes, because I can only bring 2 suitcases with the airline I was flying with. So things like that, you know. But again, he's like, manage your expectations. Like, it'll be fine, but just like manage your expectations. Yeah.
I feel like, that's actually a very helpful tip, because if your expectations are like curtailed and then you see things that really match what you need at that point, you would really appreciate it because you were not even expecting it. You understand? But then in general, like, how has it been settling in to this whole new different crazy place? Because Lagos is crazy, I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, it is, right? In a beautiful way. I think when I first got here, I was more of like on the observation side. Like, everything now compared to then looks so different. Really? Even the people, like, I just look at everything different now.
Yeah.
It was like a whole nother world. And I'm very observant like that anyway, so I just kind of like see how people like maneuver, how like the day-to-day grind goes. Now I just kind of feel like I know how to blend in. I know when to speak, when to not speak. I know how to like do things on my own. Yeah, like I'm not afraid to like go places by myself. When I first got here, I felt really like I didn't know how to do anything. I felt like a fish out of water, like
right. So, I can understand. I mean, it's a really huge.
It's a learning curve, and that's what he would also say. It was It would be a learning curve. He's like, you can do it. He's like, but manage your expectations.
If you had a penny for how
literally.
What are some of the culture shocks you've experienced so far living here?
Okay, the first thing I would say is obviously the lights. When they take the lights.
Oh, there's no stable light.
I think I made like so many jokes about like and you know what's so crazy?
No.
I had never even like heard about it talked about.
Oh really?
No.
I never heard about it.
And it wasn't until somebody commented on my TikTok and they were like, "Why are you telling our secret?" Like, and I was like, "No, it literally is a secret because like." I don't think it's public knowledge that it's like
I'm actually surprised about this.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was not public knowledge. I thought it was public knowledge.
I never knew that.
No. Welcome to Nigeria.
You know, I never knew that. I think my funniest experience is like I went to the grocery store. I have actually a TikTok about it. I went to the grocery store. Yeah, and I was trying to do like a fit check, and the lights literally went out.
Oh my goodness! But I mean, in their defense, like him on in
2 seconds,
minutes,
right?
Whilst in some places it could actually take hours.
So that was the thing. So I was telling my mom, I was like, well, the lights, they take the lights, but they come right back on. So that I can live with that. Like, you know, it's super inconvenient. Like, you know, it is what it is. Like, it was even to the point where after a while, when they would take the lights, I wouldn't even flinch. I would just turn on my flashlight. Like, it was just like second hit nature.
Yeah.
But now that I'm like working at the school that I'm working at, I noticed that some areas like take the lights for longer periods of time.
Yeah.
That makes me sad. But you know, it is, you know, just the reality. But it's just something I didn't know before I came here. So that was one.
Yeah, so that shoots you.
That was definitely a shock. And then the other shock, I would think, the gas fuel lines, like when there's like a scarcity fuel. That rocked my world one day. I went to get my hair done.
It rocked your world.
Yeah, I went to get my hair done, and so I'm thinking like my driver's like, oh, I'm gonna go just get some gas, and it made sense. Well, not even 2 minutes. Like it just made sense. I knew it would take a while because like we've experienced there being long lines before, and my hairstyle maybe took like 4 or 5 hours. After 4 or 5 hours, he was still there, and I was like, what? And then I ended up falling asleep at the salon.
Oh, waiting for him.
Yes, and my phone died. Then I found a charger. Like it took my whole day. And I was like, never.
It's crazy.
So now we're better about doing it like on days where we don't have to like
go anywhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, like the scarcity has, you know, it's been better over the few days.
Yeah, and it's not always like that.
No, you know? I mean, there's not always scarcity, but like it's more frequent than would want it. But typically, I don't know. There's just sometimes when it's rush hour. Like if you want to get fuel, like, I would advise you go very early in the morning. Or in the middle of the day. But if you go at night, when people are coming back from work, like, expect to, because this is a very congested city. So no matter how many fuel stations we have, there'll still be a long line, and you know people are very impatient. So I mean, you know, those days has been a bit chill. And it's just the small things you take for granted because like back home you can get gas 24 hours a day. Like as a woman, like by myself, I remember nights where like at 4 a.m. I would just like go get gas. Like it's something like don't even think twice about. Like you just go get gas like anywhere. Like it's like a so it's like going to get gas here. It has to be like an actual plan. Like you have to actually plan it out. So it's just the small things that were just like you take for granted, like having like 24/7, getting gas 24/7. That and you know, like from a Nigerian's perspective, right? We don't think having like 24/7 is a small thing because it's a really it's a huge deal for us. You know? I mean, obviously, it's not in every part of like Nigeria. Some places have stable lights, but like it's more like a 50-50, right? Like 50% of like people have stable light, and 50%, you know, some people are struggling to even get like 1 hour light a day. It could be that bad. Yeah, it could be that bad. So it could really be frustrating in some places. But I mean, those are the like downside to So other than that,
I think those are just there's three. Every time people ask me, I just tell them these three. So there's the other third thing.
Let me guess.
And I think this is just my blood type. The mosquitoes hate me.
Oh, I thought you were going to say traffic.
No, I'm from... I lived in Houston.
Okay,
the traffic
I don't know
there...
what that is about.
Okay, so Houston traffic is probably one of the worst.
Ever.
Yeah, it's up there with I think California, Atlanta, and Houston have the worst traffic. It's terrible. Okay. You sit. Like I'm used to sitting. You got to plan your day accordingly to get to where you got to go.
Okay. So they got sit. Okay, so the mosquitoes.
Yeah, they hate me. My leg is like you would think I had chicken pox. Like it's so bad.
Yeah, I think it's your blood type.
Yeah. And I was researching like all these different things to do. Like I've seen take B12 and they won't like bite you, or Z off. I can't find that anywhere here locally.
Really?
I found
is it like a drug or like
it's a vitamin. It's like a B complex vitamin. I found a really it's just like a random brand at the grocery store pharmacy, and it's working.
Oh really? Please, I need it.
So what I do now, the same way I carry around my lip gloss everywhere I go, I carry around.
No,
so at work it sits next to my water. Yeah, I will, and I reapply it every time 3 hours. And I don't play.
You have a testimony to tell.
I would do a review on this
right? And they should pay you. Sponsor you. Because
it's I can't clear up the mosquito bite because they leave really bad scars. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
So my legs are completely scarred into the point where I don't even want to wear skirts and shorts.
Nah.
But I have to at work. So it makes me feel so
insecure.
Yeah, because it's my legs are all bit up by mosquitoes, but since I'm not getting any more, it'll be easy for me to clear it. But the thing is just not getting any more, preventing getting more. Yeah. So this repellent that I have,
wow,
it's working really good.
I'm so glad we're doing this because I don't think I'd have actually gotten this information because mosquitoes still hate me. I'll be in the same room with someone and it's they're all over me, and then the other person's
it's not getting bit.
I'm how? Is there something about my? I need that.
The heat is not bad either because, again, I've lived in Houston. Houston is one of the hottest cities in the U.S. I feel
Houston
it's
really
in Texas.
Prepared you for Lagos.
It really did. It's close to the equator. It's right there. Texas is right there.
Yeah. Are there any similar cultures between, Texas and Lagos? Are there any similarities?
Yeah, I think the hustle culture is the same. Everybody it's not a one-stop shop where everybody goes for things. Everybody does everybody's in the entrepreneur kind of area, and I feel I see that a lot here. Yeah. It doesn't matter what you want to do. If you want to get something handmade, or you want to find a nail artist, or you want to find food, or someone who I don't know, builds chairs, tables. Everybody's in their entrepreneurial space. Yeah. It's really cool. I think it's that back home too. Everybody just kind of has their lane. This is my business. This is what I do. This is what my family does, and this is how we make money. And I feel that's kind of cool. The hustle culture. Everybody has their side hustle. A girl at work came up to me, my coworker. She's a teacher. She's like, I sell sandals, and I'm oh, okay, I sell sandals. I do lashes. Yeah. I did lashes when I was teaching back home. That was my side hustle.
Oh yeah.
So it's I like the side hustle culture that I see here.
Definitely. Very hard for you to see someone doing just one thing. Even if you're a content creator, they could be doing a whole
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah. Lots of content creators here.
So what do you love about Nigeria? What have you come to discover and just love about this country?
Okay, so I think two things that really just stand out to me the most. Maybe three. The first thing is, and this is outside looking in. I know when I say this, people are like, what? I think everybody is so calm.
What? Yeah, I'm actually what?
I think everybody is so calm and hospitable. When you go somewhere, someone literally is so selfless. They're they will literally stand up, have a seat. Have a seat, sit down. It's the small things.
I think maybe it's cultural because with this instance, it's kind of normal. People could be that way. People could if I'm in a bus and the bus is full and I see an elderly man, hanging, I could stand up for him. I mean, I think we take that for granted. Okay,
you take that. Yeah, I feel like honestly, the young kids back home would look at an elderly person and rather watch them stand now. They don't have that same respect anymore. But just like calm in a sense that like it's no urgency. Like even like how you relate. Like I feel like the rules on like punctuality here are kind of like slightly bent. Like we're gonna come. It's gonna happen when it's gonna happen. It's okay. Nobody's upset about it. Like if we said 4, it's gonna happen at 6, and it's okay. Like
or 8.
And we never have to close. We close when the last person says to leave.
Goodness, right? And then we start when there are like 10 people. You could set an event for 4, and you basically start when there are like 10 people. And I'm like, why set a time? Yeah, I mean, so yeah, that's something.
Yeah, and I like that. Like, it's just real calm. I feel like it gives me, like, that. Okay, so I'm from Houston, but I was born in Chicago. The difference between Chicago and Houston is Chicago is, like, city life. So it's, like, hustle and bustle. Everybody's, like, downtown, moving. Everybody's on the move. It's kind of like New York. You can compare it to, like, a New York. Houston is like down south, so it's like southern. You're thinking like farms, open land, like lots of land, and everybody's like moving really slow, and like the day goes by slower. It's just that's kind of how I feel here. And I like that. It just doesn't, it feels like hustle and bustle, but it just kind of feels like calm hustle and bustle.
So like just, I think like a perfect blend.
Yeah. And then
what else?
The other thing I really, really enjoy about Nigeria is, again, I think that a lot of people here are God-fearing.
Yeah.
A lot of people here are God-fearing. Yeah. A lot of people go to church. Like, I've had more people invite me to the church than the club.
Definitely.
They want to hang out with me. They don't want to go to, like, eat or go smoke shisha. They want to go to church. And I'm fine with that. But it's just like...
Really?
I posted on my story. I was like, y'all need to do better. Like, if you're watching this and you're my coworker, like, invite me to church, girl. What? And they invited me to church.
Yeah.
And they turned up in church. So it's kind of the same thing. Because when I go to the church, it's not like a traditional, like, church.
Sitting down, calm.
Church is lit.
I know, right?
So I might as well be another time. I love that. Everybody is so God-fearing. I love that. That's important. That's so big. And it's like, that's something that you would gloss over, but no. Someone who believes in God and is God-fearing won't do certain things. They believe in a higher power. They believe in a different type of karmic energy. Like, they just know right from wrong. They won't steal, kill, to destroy, to get ahead. Like, this is different. It makes a difference in the culture.
Yeah.
And I love that about Nigeria. Like, And like I even said at school, I feel challenged with my Christianity. Like,
so like you are surrounded by God-fearing people, surrounded by God, and just, I mean, it's actually if you're Christian and you want to improve your relationship with God, it's actually a very helpful situation, because it's not like it'll force you to really reflect on like your relationship with God, but like when you're constantly exposed to something that you believe in, you just automatically get to question yourself and try to like reevaluate whatever relationship you have. So I mean, it's a very good influence.
Yeah, because it's like I know I've met God, I know God, but here I've gotten to really get to know God. It's crazy, like it's amazing.
And there's so many.
We were at work. Yeah, we were at work, and we have this thing on Fridays called fellowship. So after school hours are a little different on Fridays. Normally it's like 8 to 4.
Yeah, but Fridays is 8 to 1.
8 to 3.
3? Oh.
8
that school is different.
No, 8 to 2.
8 to 2 at least.
8 to 2. But the teachers leave at 3.
Yeah.
From 2 to 3, we have what's called fellowship. So it's like literally like kind of like a mini church session for the staff. So I'm like, okay, so we like praise and worship. So when and I guess they have like a schedule where they have like one staff member every, will come up and kind of deliver a word, and then kind of go on about it. And then we close. But there was one day, the question kind of came around and they started at the front. They were like, what church do you go to and what is your role in the church? And we went around the whole room. Everybody said, oh, I'm a chorister, I'm a youth director, I'm over this, I'm over that. And then they got to me, and I'm like, I'm a child of God. Like, I literally just pull up to church. I get the word and I leave. And so the message for the day was just like, when you go to church, you're not supposed to just like take. You're supposed to give.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like really challenging me to be like a better Christian. And I'm just like, wow, I need to be on a board at church. I need to be doing something. So I don't know. It's just, I'm noticing that like about being out here, everybody's like super involved in church. I love that. It's beautiful.
So that's the second one. What's the third one?
I feel like everybody here is so creative. It's so talented. What?
So basically, I feel like in a nutshell, the people. Because that's
insane.
That's what I want to derive that word, because oftentimes I ask people, oh, what do you love about Nigeria? The people always stand out.
The people.
To be honest.
The people.
Wow.
The people. And like, I would literally like getting my hair done or getting my nails done or going to like a studio and finding like some clothes. Just like, are you made this?
Yeah, you should say yeah.
Talent. Even like meeting someone like Uche. Talent. You know what I'm saying?
Uche's head is hot for content. Uche, this is free publicity, by the way.
Yes, it is. Hey, Uche.
Uche Kush, right?
Uche Kush.
Uche Kush, yeah. Go follow Uche Kush on Instagram.
I think it was when like that, like, I don't want to say it wrong, but I think there's like a yearly like award kind of thing. It's like a Met Gala kind of award thing.
Yeah.
It's like a VCAMV or something.
What's it called? AMVCA.
Yes.
African AMVCA.
Looking at like the design from the designer.
Oh my goodness.
Girl, talent. I was like, this is
AMVCA? No.
This is insane.
I feel like AMVCA is low-key just like a fashion showcase.
It reminds me of like the Met Gala.
Yeah, like people are just trying to like showcase like their handiwork and their craft. And
their craft.
It's crazy, to be honest. It's super crazy.
Yeah. So compared to like some of the stuff that I've seen like back home in the States, I just feel like slept on. Like, talent is here. And I just feel like I love when it gets like the recognition, like, and I see it like someone from back home posted. I'm like, yes. And that's why I make sure like I always post everything like, so people know, because people literally when I like post like my nails, like my hair, like what? Like, oh my God, you're making me want to pack up my stuff and move out there.
Your nails are really cool, to be honest.
Thank you.
What are some of your favorite Nigerian dishes, and how have you been coping with the spice?
My favorite dishes. Okay, so some go-tos. Literally, I love egusi and pounded yam. Yeah. People always ask me like, egusi and what? Because I think you can take it with like different things.
Yeah, we can take it with a whole lot of things. And it personally, it pains me to see fufu going around.
Really?
People like fufu.
They always correct me.
That's actually pronounced fufu, right? And it annoys me because I don't like fufu. I don't think it's nice. And then why is it gaining popularity when there's semo, there's pounded yam? Yeah, this is
what's
a personal beef.
What's like the biggest difference between the two, fufu and pounded yam? They look the same.
Okay, so like I think fufu is like, I don't know much about fufu, but first of all, it smells, and then it doesn't taste nice to me, like when you taste it. But then pounded yam is literally like yam, which is like my favorite meal, and then it's just like, it's literally yam that's just pounded and molded into a bowl. And I think to an extent, pounded yam is healthier and it's lighter, right? And then it doesn't smell and it's actually like tasty. Yeah.
Okay.
I've been able to promote my yeah. So fufu and poundo and egusi. Nice.
And I like beef suya. I know that's like very basic, but I like beef suya.
Nice.
And I like
chicken suya.
Chicken suya. I had all kind of suya out here.
And beef
suya. Yeah, they suya everything. I feel like you can suya any kind of meat, really. Protein. Is codfish and chips. I really like it. That's like nice. And this is so crazy. I think it's just such a like island thing where it's like you eat the whole fish. Yeah. We have like back home. I feel like it's popular to have like fillets. Okay. You fillet the fish before you like prepare it and serve it, but you have like the whole fish here. You have the head, the tail,
like, literally a
whole fish in front of you. Yeah. And that's
with
like
chips. And some spice, and it's still nice.
Yeah, and I can't do too spicy. Like I think it's like with the Cameroon pepper spice that they use, or
there's Cameroon pepper, there's red pepper, there's fresh pepper.
Yeah, it has nothing has been like too spicy. And I'm really good about saying like not too spicy, but usually things are like not too spicy.
I mean, if you're eating, because it's like public meal,
right?
So they wouldn't necessarily put like a lot of spice. But I feel like Nigerians in their homes,
it could get spicy.
Yeah, like me personally, I love spice, but then like my family members don't. Yeah. So I'll cook and add my own, add my own spice. So you haven't had to like deal with.
It really opens you up. Ooh. I haven't had what?
Pepper soup.
I have actually.
And it wasn't hot?
I had it and it wasn't too spicy. I actually had it with rice, with white rice.
That's nice. You're eating good.
I had it one time actually, and my friend actually ordered it. She ordered it for us. It was like her recommendation, but that was really good too.
Basically, to just round this up, I want to ask, what advice do you have for like people who are considering relocating to Nigeria or just leaving the US to any other country? Based on what you've learned so far with the diversity in culture, what advice would you have to give to people? And basically, what are things you wish you had known before coming here?
I actually think I was very well prepared, and I think because I didn't like overpack. So don't overpack. You can find everything you need here. It's really just starting over. Like everything of mine is in storage, packed in a storage unit back home. And the longer I'm without it, the more I realize I don't need half that stuff. Yeah. So I'm okay. And then the other thing is like manage your expectations. Like honestly, don't have expectations. Manage your expectations. Just go with the flow. Yeah. And
be open-minded.
Be open-minded, and it comes together. Like I will meet someone, I'll meet another person, and it's like you meet people, so don't be afraid of that. And what else? Definitely check the weather wherever you're going. Make sure you know what the climate is like. No joke. Because like here it being hot and then like there being like mosquitoes being a thing. Be prepared for that. What else?
So in terms of like people having reservations and just thinking it's such a courageous move to like leave all they've known and go to like a whole different continent. Like what sweetened advice do you have for them? The people who aren't sure.
Honestly, I just feel like life is so short, and I feel like if you never take the risk, you'll just never know. Like, there's so much more to life. And now that I'm here outside of America, I just kind of see how like messed up it is as a place, but that's a whole nother story. But just take the risk. You can always go back home.
Yeah, I mean, right?
Literally.
Like it's a locked land or something.
You can always go back. Nothing is permanent.
Yeah, I think like basically if it's something you're considering and you're not sure about like making it permanent, you actually can come visit, right? You can come visit and you know if this is something for you, because in as much as like the people who are thriving here, not everywhere is for everyone, right? So you can come and check if it fits into like your personality and just what you want from a place. And if it's not working out, you pack your bags and leave.
And something that has stayed with me, the rent free in my mind. My aunt told me when I first told her that I was moving to Nigeria to teach. She told me, she said, "Brittany, I hope that you're not running from something. And she was like, I hope that you're not running to another location for something, because a lot right now, what's happening, I feel like in the world is everybody's like, I want to relocate, I want to move, but they do it for the wrong reason. And the thing that I stayed with me, and she said, wherever you go in the world, the same you is going to go. Yeah. It's not going to be like you go to another place and you're a different version of you. The same you is going to go. When I got here, I realized like, wow, like I'm doing the same stuff that I did back home. I'm the same person, same meal, the same life. Like I have the same habits. Like I'm still me.
Basically.
So that's a good thing. But I feel like a lot of people go places. Like I see a lot of people move to Houston, from different parts of the U.S. They're like, oh, I hate it here. I don't see what the hype is. It's like because you moved for the wrong reason.
You moved for the hype.
Yeah. Right? Instead of just kind of like knowing who you were before you left, essentially. So just don't move for the wrong reason, essentially, Because whoever you are where you were is who you're going to be wherever you go.
I actually have picked that up. But basically, basically, we've come to the end of today's video. It's been so enlightening and interesting, getting to talk to you, Brittany. Thank you so much for honoring this invitation.
For having me.
If you guys know you like this video, please do actually give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're yet to, and stick around for more videos. Please do follow her on her socials if you'd love to, continue the story, continue her journey with her on her socials. Can you share your socials with us?
Yeah, my socials are for Instagram, Brittany, spelled BRITTYNE, and TikTok, Brittany Day. Those are my
That's all. Alright, so do check her out if you'd love to. And on to the very next one. Let's keep on staying safe and healthy. Bye.